Welcome to Salzburg here on the Nato campaign. It's a very beautiful town. This is the Dome Square. It's very beautiful, amazing, and I love it. And it should be in Nato as well. It has deserved Nato membership, and I'm here to promote exactly that. I'm confident there will be wisdom of the decision makers here in Salzburg to support Nato membership, and I'm confident that they will see that the geographic situation and the security situation and everything else for Salzburg, it's very logical to be in Nato. I have here, this is the Dome, and what a beautiful place it is, and I really love it. It is now a very special moment. The evening atmosphere, the sun was setting over this beautiful capital of the western state of Salzburg. They have this kind of music here. There is a lot of tourists from all over the world who love to see beautiful Salzburg at this moment. I love the square, I love this old town together with Linz. It's one of the most beautiful places in Europe, and here was this very special EDU meeting of 96, maybe 97, my recollection, 25 years ago more or less, when we voted for Nato membership, and then Schüssel sold us out to Russia. Yeah, this is how it was, this is how it is, and here we are today, and we have to do all the work now to lead this country into Nato. That's the residence for the bishop's residence, very beautiful. I show you still in retrospect. Here's the most famous coffee of Salzburg, Tomaselli, and then of course Getreidegasse and the main square. Salzburg is not a very big town. They are all not very big, but they are growing, because of course there is work, there is jobs, there is prosperity, there is also demand for new labor, and all these places are attracting magnetically more people. That's why I'm also calling for the opening of a pan-European labor market, including Ukraine and the Balkans, for everybody to be united in the euro, from Ukraine to the Balkans, and obviously everybody in NATO and the European Union. This is so logical. This is how it will be. This is the most famous coffee. Yeah, over there I've not been. Now you have seen this one, and then I showed you the Getreidegasse, very beautiful, and then maybe to walk. There are so many beautiful squares. It really doesn't, you don't miss. No, you have to come yourself. I cannot show you everything. That's impossible. But I can show you some, and I can give you a small overview about this beautiful town, so well renovated, so much of the Austrian tourism industry focused in the West, and obviously we would all benefit a lot if Salzburg and Austria would join NATO as well and end this immoral neutrality and to be a normal country. Because why not to be a normal country? There's no reason to be an abnormal country in Europe. And there's no further insight or wisdom we hold over peace in Europe than the rest of the 97% of Europeans. And there's of course a lot of misunderstandings. It's all connected to the Second World War because of the inheritance and the legacy of Hitler's anti-Americanism. That was the big mistake of our time, not to have clearer Western integration, but it seemed opportune for the leaders of the time, who also were not particularly pro-Americans, but to let it slide everything. They thought it's good, and then they were thinking we just let it go, and then we say nice things over Soviet Union because they are so close and they might attack us because the Americans were anyhow the friends. And so they built a myth of Austrian neutrality pleasing the aggressor, because they were sure that we are anyhow closely connected with America. But over time, obviously, the Austrian nationalists and the Austrian socialists have perpetuated this myth into some kind of massive, virulent anti-Americanism, and they have claimed the future is in some kind of superior human being status of Austria compared to the rest of the world, and they have seen Americans as warmongers and Austrians as peace advocates, and this kind of being in the between status has fitted the Austrian mentality inherited from the Austrian-Hungarian monarchy, this cultural arrogance which is so plenty to be visible as well in Hungary and in Serbia, and together this kind of toxic mix of anti-Americanism, where also obviously Adolf Hitler had it from this Austrian-Hungarian Empire arrogance, and then it was all connected with anti-Semitism, anti-Americanism, also the sadness of having lost the Second World War, which in many of the elites they never understood why we have lost it, we are so good and we didn't do anything wrong, and so all added up to this toxic kind of narrative of neutrality, which is the big problem we face today, and it's so hard to destroy and it's so difficult to overcome, but ultimately we will, because there is no reason for neutrality. There is no basis for it but a myth and a misunderstanding. And you know, myths and misunderstandings, they might be persistent, they might be very strong, and it's a very common belief here of the Austrians that they are told that they are different. If you tell this to people very long, probably they tend to believe it, and then you are in a complete mess, and that's of course where we are today. But it's beautiful. That is also another sector. When you are beautiful and rich, you probably think everything is perfect and you don't want to change anything anymore. That's also exactly the psychological effect here at place, and that's also something we should urgently change, I call so. Thanks a lot. More to come from Pax Europiana here from Salzburg. Bye.